medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to Shortcuts for Your Soul. And today I have the Galactic Federation of Light with me today. And we're going to be discussing on the idea that we can all be heard by them. We can hear them. All can hear us. All can hear us. And why you cannot. Why is it we cannot hear our guides, our angels? Why is it they say we can all hear them? But why can we not? We're going to go into that today with them. So I'm really excited for those of you that will be joining us today. Yeah. You really want to help this channel. Take a moment to share this video out. Everyone needs to hear what's going to be said today. I mean, almost any of the videos that have come through, people need to hear this. So take a moment to share this video with somebody. Subscribe to my channel, give the video a like, and click the notification bell so you'll always know when we come live again. The challenge that we're facing in this time of uncertainty, which is actually a time of great creation going on right now, is getting to the realization that we are not alone. None of us are alone for any reason whatsoever. And yet we find ourselves, many people, struggling to get by in their lives, to get by just day-to-day living. And what needs to happen in order to do that? What really needs to happen in order to get beyond ourselves? Because we are so entrapped. This is what they were saying to me in the shower. We are so entrapped in our body selves, in our mind selves, that we cannot hear the insistent and persistent guidance coming to us every single moment of our lives. And there are several layers of how we function as individuals that inhibit or mute or lower the hearing abilities, the seeing abilities of what we need to see and hear in order to change our own destinies. The fascinating thing they said to me was, it's important that people understand that this identification with the body, this irrational identification with the body as being the center of who you are, is a great disservice to your ability to grow and evolve as a limitless potential. When you find yourself in this body, you also have these conditions that come with it, such as fear, survival, hunger, the threat of death. These are all considerations that this body faces. From the moment it was conceived, the survival function of your body was only meant to preserve the function of it so that you would one day assume authority over it and no longer be subjective to it. And yet you find yourselves caught up in the fear of the body. Something may hurt me. I might not be safe here. What's going to happen next? The uncertainties of your body keep you localized in it, and therefore makes it very difficult for you to hear another frequency that we exist on. We exist on a frequency of energy that your body does not exist on. Your body does not exist on the same frequency of energy that we do, and as many others do that you do not know, but who are available and waiting to assist you. You must understand that there is frequencies of energy. Fear is a frequency of energy. Joy is a frequency of energy. Love is a frequency of energy. And all of these frequencies have a lower range and an upper range. But most of you spend your days, your lives, many lifetimes, in the lower ranges of these frequencies. And we live in the slightly higher ranges of those frequencies. For we say slightly because we do not denote above and below polarity the same way as you do while you're in that body. But please understand, all of you can hear us. You simply have to adjust your frequency to a vibrational level that matches ours to some degree. Kind of like if you are in a hallway and there is someone way down at one end of the hallway and there is you at the other end of the hallway and they are whispering to you and you know they are saying something, but you cannot hear them. And so you begin to move towards them and they begin to move towards you. And there's a certain point in that process where you can at least start to make out little whispers, little hints that something is being communicated to you from that other. And so you come closer and you come closer, and then you begin to hear murmurings. And then you come closer and you come closer, and then you begin to hear words, ideas, information. And this is a simple analogy of adjusting the frequency of your awareness to not be so identified with the frequency of your body, but rather to learn to articulate your frequency independent of the body. And that is the first layer, when you can align your body in frequency to that which is more compatible to us. And we recommend there's multiple ways in which you can align the frequency of your body to a higher frequency. That is to put living foods and vital liquids in your body, to get proper activity for the form, to maximize its energy of vitality. And you raise the frequency of your body up. You come closer in frequency to us on the physical plane. The secondary step is to consider what it is, this thing you call your mind is, your personality. Well, that too is a frequency. Even the name that you identify yourself as being is a frequency. A John or a Mary or a George, even the name is a frequency. And so you hold a frequency in your mind of who you think you are. And this too is just a frequency. You also hold emotions and beliefs in your mind, and they are also a frequency. And if you are able to begin to change and raise the frequency up, you can begin to hear us, as we said in the earlier analysis, of being able to adjust your positioning in frequency to come closer, higher to that which is like us. And there are ways you can raise the frequency of your mind, and there are ways to raise the frequency of your emotion. And as you adjust those frequencies, you will discover that there is more for you to hear and to see than your eyes can give you, and your ears can give you, and your senses can give you, or your thoughts can give you. For many of your thoughts, many of your emotions are lower vibrational energies that keep you in separateness, not only from us, but from your brothers and sisters in this dimension. We call ourselves the Galactic Federation of Light because we are a federation of light, for there are many in your planet, and there are many throughout many systems that have learned to adjust their frequency. And we co-communicate to work at elevating and expanding the potential expression of infinite intelligence into the creative process of time and space. And our goal is for that experience to be one of joy, and we say joy as a relative term for what you call suffering. It is important to note that every thought you think is a frequency. Every emotion you feel is a frequency, and that it is within your grasp at all times that you can adjust the frequency of your body, the frequency of your thoughts, which is the quality and caliber of those thoughts, and the emotions. And it is these emotions which are the most important component in learning to adjust your frequency. As you learn to harness control of your frequency, you learn to retune your perceptual apparatus to different stations, so to speak, different levels, if you like. You can attune what you call a radio to a different station or frequency simply by turning a dial or pushing a few keys to change a station. And it is that process of adjustment that you have over your mind and your emotions. You can adjust the station, the frequency, the perceptual mechanism to a different frequency of perception. We speak very candidly in saying that there is not one among you that does not possess the ability to adjust your frequency. Even in the most disparaging moments of your existence in this physical world, you have the power within you as you to adjust the frequency, to turn your attention away from suffering, to turn your attention away from sadness, to turn your attention away from pain, is one method to begin to adjust your frequency. Another method is to actually engage them, but engage them with an intention of love, to extend love to your pain, to extend love to your disparaging state. That too will change the frequency. Regardless, you are ultimately 100% responsible for the process of learning to adjust your frequency. You may receive assistance and guidance from us and many others when you learn to listen and to adjust and to alter your system. Your body is simply the mechanism. It is not who any of you are, but it has its own functions, which you have the authority and the responsibility to orchestrate and direct. Even the functions of your DNA can be orchestrated to serve you as you need them to serve you. The functions of your mind are there to serve you, not suffer you. And yet this requires that you awaken to the reality that your thoughts, your emotions, and your body are mechanisms that you must learn to handle, much the same way as you must learn to walk the body, or to talk the body, or to drive a car, or any of these other instruments that you use. You can deliberately learn to adjust the mechanics of the system as the awareness. But if you are ingrained in the illusion that somehow you are the system, that's like saying the driver is the car and therefore cannot steer anywhere. And so you find yourself thinking that if these thoughts and these emotions are who I am, I'm stuck with them. And many of you live like that. Many of you for many lifetimes, believing your thoughts and your emotions are you. Not recognizing that they are mechanisms, instruments of your creative power, your creative process that are available to you at all hours of all days, of all times. We encourage you to consider discovering the mechanism of your awareness as that which can orchestrate and command control over mind and matter, over awareness and energy, or what we also call emotion. Your ability to orchestrate conscious choice over thought, action, and emotion puts you in command of the dial that can change your frequency so that you can open your ears and open your eyes to us. To hear is not simply a sound vibration, but to feel our presence with you, to know you can ask, should I go left or should I go right? And to know that we are here to respond to you at all times. To deliberately know that you can recognize a thought and say, what other thought can I choose other than this? And to listen carefully and to know that you can be guided. You are not simply on your own in this physical dimension, for you live on multiple dimensions of awareness, but you must learn to shift your perceptual apparatus from being localized to your body and to your mind. And our goal today is simply this: to remind you that that physical mechanism in which you find yourself is merely an instrument that has within it certain preconditioned functions. Your conventional mental arts often refer to it as instinct. And yet this instinct is simply a preservational mechanism for the mechanism itself. For you are not bound by the same laws of survival as your body is, but you are bound to learn to take authority over it, so you are not subjective to the body's automatic responses to dealing with conditions of this world. It is how many of you have transcended the natural world into what you call this modern civilized world, because many of you were able to transcend your subjectivity to the instinctual inclinations of the body in which you find yourself. And that is just but one step. Now you have the vehicle and it is under your command. What is the next step? What is the next step? Well, the next step then is to look at the thoughts that control the body, the thoughts that direct it to open and close and to walk and to speak and to talk and to stand and to sit and to run and to jump and to play, and all those things that direct the form at your will. For your thoughts are a command to the form, and you must then begin to do the same thing with your thoughts as you do with the body, in placing in the proper substances in the body, in taking care of its maintenance, attuning it to a higher frequency. You must do the same thing then with your thoughts, to begin the process of re-articulating thoughts that alter your perceptual apparatus to perceive something greater than the conditions in which you might find yourself in your own mind. For we know that there are many of you who suffer needlessly in this pool of dark thought. And many of you are liberated from that pool of dark thought. But you must recognize that those thoughts are not you, and that you have a choice over them. You may have repeated them so many times that they have an insistence to be there, but you have merely trained the mechanism to constantly repeat those thoughts. And you have to train the mechanism to not repeat those thoughts. Just as you may tell the hand to open and close and it will not argue with you, you can tell that thought, no, do not think that thought. Do not think that thought. You must assume the same authority over your mind. And then what thought will you think that will raise your frequency up would be the next step. For now you will no longer think those thoughts that no longer serve you. And then what? What thoughts will raise your frequency of mind so that you come closer to us, to hearing and receiving guidance beyond what you know, but which is available to you always? What thoughts? I choose joy. I choose love. I choose connection. I choose excitement. I choose playfulness. I choose possibilities. Everything gets better for me because I choose to think this way. And as you assume authority over that mechanism, that vehicle, that thought vehicle, it will further enhance the conditions of the physical one, for the quality of thoughts will influence and induce changes in the functionality of your physical mechanism, as equally as will bad food or good food alter the effectiveness of your physical mechanism. You are seeking to align that which is below to that which is above, to train your mind and body to function at their most optimal level. And when they are functioning at their optimal level, then there is this other layer called emotion, which is your energy, the energy you all possess, emotion, which is your energy in motion. And you all have this to articulate and to re-articulate by choice or by ignorance. And if it is by choice, you can create energies, emotional energies, that enliven the cells of your body, that enliven the thoughts in your mind, that raise your frequency up, that begin to give you the understanding as awareness that mind and emotion and body are simply tools of creating. And in your process of creating your life in this world, you ask, what can I do with my life? You ask, many of you ask this, we hear you all the time. What shall I do with my life? Do you listen? And you look in your own mind and your own past and your own body and you try to figure out something different from what you already know. You will not find it in what you remember. You will not find it in what you already know. You will find it in what you do not know, which will require that you begin to open up your awareness to new ideas and information. Shall I go left? Shall I go right? Shall I do this thing or should I do the other thing? We are listening, and you can hear. You have ears. You can hear. You have eyes, and you can see. But you must understand the distinction that we make in terms of seeing and hearing, that the seeing and hearing is that of what you do with your awareness as you feel the vibrational nature of the words and the information that we are imparting to you today. That is one level of awareness. And your minds and ears hear these sound waves as words coming into your ears and going into your mind, and your mind interprets these words, vibrations into thoughts. And then there's a part of you that is watching those thoughts and hearing these words and recognizing these vibrations. That you that observes the construction of those thoughts, that recognizes and identifies meaning and value in these ideas, that you, that awareness that is you, is the one that truly sees, the one that truly hears, the one that truly can know what it does not know, well identified as body-mind. And so we encourage you to begin a process of altering your vibrational nature. The body is actually the easiest level to work with, for it is simply a subjective organism, a cellular organism that is subjective and subservient to your will. It is. It is truly subservient to your will. But it is in your mind and in your emotions where the great change must occur, where your memories that keep you entrapped in your past suffering must be released and relinquished. They have no place in your present moment. And many of the behaviors that you perform again and again and again are not by choice, but by reaction, and coming to the awareness of becoming conscious that you can choose rather than to react to what goes on in your mind or to what goes on in the world around you. You can choose to not react. You can choose a different way of being, and not allow your mind, as it has been constructed, to be the determining factor in what you will say or do in the present moment, when in the present moment you are absolutely free to choose what you will think and say and do. You're absolutely free. But you must choose to become aware of that fact, choose to become aware that your thoughts are not you, that the emotional reactions and responses that you perceive in this mechanism are not you, that the things that occur in this body, the things that occur in this world around you are not you, but that you can orchestrate those things to be manifestations of what you truly are. When you begin to orchestrate this thing called your mind, your body, and your energy deliberately, you begin to see a world changing, and it is changing. It is changing greatly in ways that have many of you in fear and uncertainty, but there are those among you that know that change is a creative choice. It is not an event that just happens. If you observe nature, what you call nature in this world, it stays pretty much the same. It has its own economics, but in the realm of a creative consciousness that interacts and changes matter through its interaction with it, you have brought forth things into this world that have never existed before, because you're not of this world in that sense. Coming to the understanding that you are able to affect this world positively or negatively from what you know, or you may affect it as you choose to affect it from a place of creation, where you may create greater harmony and opportunity. And those on this planet that know the creative process and are affecting it deliberately and consciously have the majority of you scratching your heads, wondering, why is this happening? And those few of you that are deliberately and consciously creating, going, this is exciting. This is a new ride. A new world is emerging. We're bringing it forth. Many of you recognize this. Not enough, unfortunately, but enough that the creative process will go on in spite of the fears and the doubts and the uncertainty of the majority of you. You are manifesting a new world. And many of you do not even see this. Many of you are so attached to your body and mind world that this is your only reality. What you think in your mind, what you feel in your body, what you see in the immediate world around you, this is your world. No, the world is much greater than that. The world is much greater than that. And so are you. And so as you try to struggle within what you are so familiar with, you will not see anything new in that. But you will see something new when you step away from that and consider, what else? What is exciting about this world? What can I think and create? And we're not talking from this position of mind or body. We're talking from this position of awareness. What you are. This limitless awareness that you are. That gives rise to deliberate change. Is that not preferable, deliberate change, than being subjective to the currents of your body and instinct, to the currents of what you call life and death, which are simply transitions in the process of infinite change, deliberately executed by intelligent awareness? You must understand this. There is no life or death. There's the deliberate change of matter according to intelligent awareness that is directing it. And either you are one with that intelligent awareness, or you are believing you are separate from that intelligent awareness. And therefore you think your life will end when that body ceases to function. You will discover eventually that that is not true. When we came to this one today, his first reaction to us was, wow, that's amazing that everybody can hear you. That was his reaction. And he hears us all the time, at least when he opens his ears, which is more frequently than most. But every one of you have ears to hear, and every one of you have eyes to see, but you merely need to attune, retune, shift your energy. For we are not the only ones. There are many, many, many degrees of being in the creative spectrum of being. And you can deliberately attune yourself. But it must be deliberate. It will not happen on its own. You cannot defer the responsibility for your creative liberation to any other soul, although you may find others that will say to you, hey, if you do this, or you think this, or you eat this, or you meditate like this, there are those that you can connect to that can show you ways through which you can begin to realize your own creative potential, but they cannot in and of themselves become your creative potential. And many of you defer your creative potential to others, to your things called governments, to other groups, to other things, to substances, to foods. You defer your creative power, hoping that something out there will make you feel that which you yourself are responsible for making yourself feel. That does not sound too difficult to be responsible for what you think and what you will do with your body. These are simple things. They are very complex for those of you that are embroiled in your suffering and believing that that is your reality and your only reality. And those of you that are embroiled in fear and thinking that is your only reality, it is not. And those of you who are thinking that this body and the way it feels and the pain is in is your only reality, it is not. It is not at all. But this is something you must discover, and you must choose to discover. there is another reality other than suffering. There is another reality other than matter, time, and space. But you must be willing to discover that. And so we come to you today to encourage you to begin to open your ears to hear and open your eyes to see. Only you can elect to choose what you will look at and what you will not look at. You can look at those painful thoughts, and that is what you will choose to look at, and that will become your creative expression. And you may choose to stay attached to why I am suffering so much inside, and you will be attached to that as part of your creative expression, for you give it your life with your attention. Or you can choose something else. There is something other than the suffering, and I know it's this thing called love, it's this thing called joy. What is that? How can I experience that? Where do I find that in myself? What do I need to think or do or be with my body, my mind, and my emotional energy to experience this energy called love? Versus giving my attention to my suffering and my fear, which many of you do. And although at last analysis, none of you can end yourself in eternal suffering, though you can spend a great deal of time in it, you will never spend eternity as suffering. Suffering is an experience that you are having. It's not the nature of your being. The nature of your being is very different than the experience of what you were experiencing. But that is another discussion. We will take some questions now. And hopefully you have heard this. You have heard us. You're not alone. But you must learn to attune your awareness away from the lower vibrational energies that we cannot speak through. When you are in your suffering, it is hard for you to hear us, for we do not suffer as do you. Which is why the great master that you know as Jesus came forth and said, "Suffer the children to come unto me." He was referring to a frequency of consciousness that he existed at and exists at even higher today in your world. Suffer the children to come unto me, away from your suffering, turn away from your suffering and come to light, to vibrational frequencies of joy, of love. You can contemplate joy, you can contemplate love, you can consider it. And by doing so, you move yourself away from the very suffering that you think you cannot liberate yourself from. And it is that simple. Even for your body, you are putting things in your body that hurt it. Stop putting things in your body that hurt it. You will raise its vibration up. You will make its hearing more acute. Understand? Yes, we shall see this. Wow. I love it. Good morning, everybody. This has been like for the last 45 minutes for me. It's been just mind blowing. Just to be standing. I stand on the sidelines, and I won't remember most of it. But I want to say thank you to the Galactic Federation of Light for their presence here. They will take your questions now to really get this. And you know, when they and the other ascended beings downloaded the courses and classes that we teach on how to do exactly what they're saying, how to begin that process of changing the vibrational quality of your body, changing the vibrational quality of your mind, changing the vibrational usage of emotion, because you use emotion is energy that you use to articulate change and creation. And yeah, every time I connect with them and they talk to me about this process of adjusting our frequency, it continually blows my mind because I feel it at a different level. And when you start to attune yourself out of suffering, you start to attune yourself out of fear, you start to attune yourself out of negative thinking, you start to hear, you start to know, and you start to experience very different things. Wow. So good morning, everybody. Yeah. Well, this isn't William that's on fire today. This is these guys. It's wonderful, though. I got to tell you, the Galactic Federation, they've been coming through a lot of people on this planet, because a lot of people are talking about how to meditate, how to eat properly, how to change your thoughts. Not just positive thinking. You're not just positive thinking. We're adjusting the frequency of our thinking, right? We're adjusting the frequency. This is what they're saying right now. Really important. Hello, South Africa. Hi, everybody. Yeah, if you want to, by the way, if you want to support this channel, please share this video out. Remember to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll get notified when I come live. Let other people know this stuff. Humanity is coming to a place where we can choose to continue suffering or we can choose to give it up. It's a choice. You can choose to give your suffering up or not. And you don't have to do it alone. There are beings that will guide you. They can be in the flesh and they can be in spirit and in energy. I have a Janine. Hi, Janine Rabbi. Also, other ways to support this channel. You can become a member of my Patreon page. I want to welcome my new Patreons who signed up over the weekend. Patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. We do a live monthly event for patrons only where we bring messages and information through. We also do spontaneous events. When they tell me to do an extra event, we do an extra event. But you also get to ask a free question every month, and you get entered into a draw to win a free reading with me, which is always really fascinating. Also, you can support this channel by using the super chat features in the YouTube channel. You'll see a little dollar symbol. You can use that. You can prioritize your question so it gets answered. So you can use that feature in YouTube as a means of supporting this work as well. So let's get to this big question. I think I photographed an angel the other day. I feel it is Metatron. Is it really Metatron? He appeared to me even my husband looked right. Yeah. So the answer is yes. And it wasn't just Metatron. There was Metatron. I mean, Metatron's a lot of people don't know he's actually an archangel, right? Metatron. I call him Lord Metatron because it just feels kind of cool to call him Lord Metatron, right? But he's actually, if you want to talk about the vibrational denomination, this is important. Those terms, angels, archangels, deities, demigods, they're vibrational denotations of a frequency of energy, right? And you can adjust your frequency. You can become a deity. You can become an angel. You can become it as you change your frequency. Anyway, yes, it was Metatron, but there was Gabriel was behind his left shoulder. Gabriel was just behind his left shoulder. If you look at that picture carefully, you'll see something else there as well. Very fascinating. Thank you so much. Hi, Drusilla. Hi, Tanya. Question from Daniel. How is my third eye opening? I was sensing it pulsating for seconds on Saturday. What does it mean? Again, when you start, your body has thank you. Okay, I'm just laughing because they have their answer and I have my understanding, right? And they kind of different levels of the same thing. From their perspective, we would simply say to you that your eye is opening, the one that you can see with, that your body's localized place where your body represents that as an energy where it can come through, transmit and receive through matter. This is what you're feeling here. You're feeling the eye opening. The eye, which is what you are as awareness, is opening, becoming more open and aware, and your energy in your body responds to the change in your energy as awareness. And so you are literally bringing more of your self-awareness into matter, and your body opens up, for you will be able to see and hear differently even in this world as you learn to see and hear differently in awareness through the non-physical realms. Thank you, Danielle. Great question. Question from Mary. Can you tell me how Sananda and Jesus are in relationship, or they're one and the same being? Yes. Masters, when you understand the ascended beings, they have come and they'll tell you themselves, we are all one, but we take many forms to address the changes and the receptivity that others will have with us. For some of you will perceive that which you call as Jesus in one way, and some of you will perceive the being of Sananda in another way. It is, again, a recognition of the vibrational relationship between the perceiver and the perceived. As this one earlier mentioned, perceiving the frequency of Metatron, this wonderful expression. It is another frequency that they became aware of, or this one perceived the pulsating in their eye. It's a frequency. And so whether you call this energy Master Jesus or Sananda, It is the level of your frequency that allows you to perceive them at the range of expression that they and you meet at. For you meet that which you are at the frequency which you are. If you are in a frequency of suffering, then you will meet more suffering. If you are in a frequency of joy, you will meet more joy. Adjusting your frequency is key here. Thank you. Question from Manoj. When do your Saturday meditations and focus on space? I don't know why. You're okay. I will. They're saying you need to really work on your mind chatter. Your analysis of your experience inhibits you from incorporating it deliberately as a knowing, and you keep it and yourself stuck in the range of thinking about the experience rather than becoming the experience, which will allow you to articulate the knowledge of that to others. But you go into this experience of what you call meditation, and you experience this energy, and then you give lots of thinking about it, and then you move yourself away from the experience, and then you go, I'm trying to figure out this experience, but you cannot figure out the experience when you've already had it. But you can be the vibration of the experience, and we encourage you in your meditations to do this, to go into your meditation being the experience of that expansion, being the experience of freedom, being the experience of joy, and not questioning, oh, this joy, I like how this feels. The minute you begin to question the experience, you move away from the experience and into what you call your mind or the analysis of it. Now you separate yourself from the very nature of the very thing you're seeking to become. Thank you. Great question, Manoj. Right. Just scrolling down here. Question from Jana. Today, a red-breasted ruddock bird came really nearby, looking back at me for a while. May I have the message I had for me? Don't look back. It's literally telling you, don't look back. It's something you do. Don't look back. Stop it. And they're also saying, I'm grateful you noticed. I'm grateful you understood. I'm grateful you noticed. Wow. Thank you. Yeah, the bird energy is really cool sometimes. Question from Tanya. My bipolar partner keeps complaining about everything for days and days. I do find it difficult to stay aligned when bombarded with his negative mindset. Ask myself if change is necessary. You already know the answer to that question, Tanya. I can feel it, and they're saying very clearly, if you stay in a noisy room, your ears will not hear much else. But you know the answer already. They're saying you already know the answer. You don't need them to tell you. You already know. They're asking me. They want me to ask you: are you seeking to assist this one? It is not enough to be your brightest light around him. But you must recognize: is he open and willing to receive the idea that he does not have to focus on his suffering anymore? Is he willing to consider letting go of his suffering? If the answer is yes, there is a possibility. If the answer is no, there is no possibility, for he is the architect of his creation, and you can sit in that creation with him. That is your choice. We would not do it, but that is your choice. But if you understand, if he is willing to work with you, to learn from you, to grow with you, that is different. For relationships do not happen by chance. They happen by choice, whether you are aware of that choice or not. But you are not bound, as many of you think, to bear your suffering. You are free to change it. Your concept of death and taxes is a lie you must certainly surrender soon. or you will continue to perpetuate it. For you are beyond death and taxes if you understand your creative ability as spirit, as energy, as soul, as consciousness. Question from Mary. Hi, Mary. Yes, that will liberate. What was said before is the solution to that. You understand what we have said to you today. You understand what we have said to you today. And if you apply it effectively, not simply to your body, the proper food, the proper nutrition for this form that you find yourself residing in, but also the nutritional thought, the nutritional energies of emotion. Cultivate your joy. Thank you. Just scrolling down here. Good morning, Betsy. Hi, Betsy. Hi, Mara. Hi, Desiree. Question from Desiree. I had a dream I had about 4 dreams last night, and I was wondering if you could help me. I had a dream where I was using Jesus' name to cast out demons, or what I thought in my dream were witches. They're saying if you understand the nature of the distinction between your awareness and the nature of your mind, you will recognize that you are finally recognizing that those demons and those witches are not a part of who you are, and you are in fact casting out that energy from you. You are changing your frequency. You are aligning to your creative potential and surrendering your subjectivity to your unconsciousness. This is very good. It is not simply a dream. It is the conscious recognition that you are deliberately changing your mind to reflect the essence of what you are as awareness, as light, as love. Your hearing will grow quickly, as will your seeing. Thank you, guys. Just scrolling down for questions. We've got enough time for 1 or 2 more questions. Question from Ryan. I have been connecting with lately with representatives of the Galactic Federation of Light. Just curious if there are any additional messages for me in this now. Thank you. I don't know why they're showing me. Why are you showing me that? They're showing me like a big flashlight, but it's not just like it's not like, it's like a big like this gigantic light and flashlight that you actually have to hold with 2 hands, and it's shining straight ahead. And they're saying they're giving it to me in this way because it's for you to understand, because of what you are doing, where you are going, and your intent. The light must stay straight ahead. It's literally a giant light, bright. It's like a whitish yellow light, bright, straight ahead. Whatever that means to you, Ryan, please leave your response to that in the comments section below. Thank you. Good question. Wow. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. This has been a really wonderful episode for me today, because truth is truth. It does not matter what level you function on. Truth is true. We did not come here to suffer. We came here to create. And suffering allows us to discern. Yes, I know. Suffering allows you to discern between what you don't want to create and what you do want to create. Anything that you don't like is showing you what you don't want to create, right? And you must choose then what you do want to create. When you learn how to create deliberately, you liberate yourself. Earlier, they said that one of the most important areas to work on is our mind, our subconscious mind, conscious mind, subconscious mind. I want to say to you, in about a week and a half's time, we begin a mediumship 102 level, mediumship level 2 advanced program. And in this course, we exclusively focus on helping you to change the consciousness, the energy, the information in your subconscious field. You get the opportunity to release from your mind and body old, past, dense emotions that restrict and inhibit your ability to transmit a new paradigm change in the world. Once you can run your mind subconsciously and consciously and remove old emotions from the system, you're that's funny. Once you can change your emotion, you can create anything with your life. Emotion is energy in motion. And you've heard me say many times, my guardian angel John was very clear when he said, emotion is the fifth state of energy. Listen to this, humanity, all of you. Emotion is the fifth state of energy. Emotion organizes everything below it. We have solids, liquids, gases, plasma. And emotion is what governs how they all take shape and form. Your body is a solid. It's also a liquid. It's also a gas, and I am controlling it. While this world around you is not separate from you, you're part of it. It's important to learn to manage emotional energy. And our Mediumship 102 program focuses almost exclusively on manifesting control over your emotions, and also learning to open up your clairs, the clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance. You do not need to take our Mediumship 101 beginner's course to take the 102 course, although that would be advantageous because there are students that will be going into the 102 course that are practicing and learning and honing their mediumship skills. And you'll benefit from that as well. So anyway, consider taking the course. You go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and sign up for it. Don't waste time. If you can't control your emotions, you will not control your life. If you can't control your thoughts, and if you can't even figure out what's making your thoughts happen the way they happen, you're not in control. Until you can control your own thinking and your own emotional energy, you will not be in control of your life. And we all have moments where we get out of control of our emotions, where something happens around us and we get triggered and we find ourselves thinking, saying, and doing things, go, oh my God, why did I do that, right? And it happens when you're not aware of the difference between who you are, what your thoughts are, and what your emotions are. As long as you're in the driver's seat, that's it. Awareness is the driver's seat of mind, body, soul. Anyway, come and join us. I got time for one more question today, guys. Question from SJK. My father appeared very clearly in a dream last night. Is there a message or a deeper meaning for me? From him, he's saying to me, I'm just checking in. I'm just checking in, and I'm proud. I am proud in my heart. Wow. Just checking in. That's cool. And they do that. Once you understand frequency, yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, it's just checking in with you. And I hope you got that from him too. When people from the other side come and I feel their energy, it's really fascinating when you can feel the energy of somebody who, a grandmother, or in this case, your father, and feeling the love that is in his heart about who you are and who you're becoming and what you're doing, and the pride that he can now fully articulate as an energy. It's pretty amazing. Thank you. Wonderful. Well, guys, listen, I want to say thank you, everybody, for coming out today. Remember to give a thumbs up to this video. Subscribe to the channel. There's 42 of you here today. I only see 20 thumbs up. For those of you that are watching this, give it a thumbs up. It's important. The more thumbs up a video gets, the algorithms on YouTube actually begin to propagate this video, share it out to more people that are in the same niche of study and growth and human potential. And subscribe to the channel. Don't waste this opportunity to enliven other people's lives, enliven your life with more knowledge, wisdom, and truth. This is wonderful. And I want to take a moment again to thank the Galactic Federation of Light for coming through today. It was really, they come a lot in the shower. Really, these beings come in the shower a lot. Because they say, my mind is focused. I'm not distracted by a bunch of other stuff. And that's key too. In our Mediumship 102 program, we teach you how to meditate. people by the end of the end of the 102 are meditating for an hour a day. It's really cool. That's how that came about. So guys, have a wonderful day. We'll see you to Wednesday on Shortcuts for Your Soul, and much love to everybody. Bye for now.